this team, Rubes, and she's a real player for the future.
Absolutely. I mean, she's got the best to learn off, doesn't she? I mean, Taylor Harris is on the sidelines, but I'm sure she's giving plenty of tips as well.
Breed wins the clearance for the Hawks. Spreads wide to Ashmore. A bit slow to get going last Saturday, the Hawks against the Giants at Kinetic Stadium in Frankston. Bates long and direct. Snuck all the way out the back. Hipwell, who kicked 2 last week, goes back with a handball to Williamson. The kick was smothered. Defence from Naarm, and there's Denby Taylor. 2 Taylors out there for the D's. Denby Taylor and Saray Taylor, the late change in game number 2.
Interesting first names as well, aren't they? Denby and Saray. 2024. Boundary throw in. Up over the top was Wales. Might have another crack at it. Here's Erdley to West, who's had a brilliant season. Lampard's onto the pump. Mackin. Kick was touched. And the umpire says it was touched, a boundary throw in.
Liza was just a little bit of overuse of the handball there. Probably just needed to get it on the boot. You know that you've got Anya McDonough, generally one out in the goal square. Put it on her head and let her get to work. She's got that height and she's been so impressive for that Hawks forward line so far.
Slapped straight down the throat of Bates, off to Fleming. Slew's off the outside of the boot, but it'll be lucky here because taking it will be Williamson, the winger, who can run and run. She can kick as well. To Richardson's had a brilliant season down back, goes straight down the throat, up and over the top, and a free given. Was it? Yeah. And it was against Gillard, who came up over the top. So she's not happy with that call, Talia Gillard. And taking the free kick will be Hipwell.
Well, it looked like she just went for the hanger and didn't get a hand to the ball. And even at that, the D's had 2 flying and Anya McDonough was left at ground level. So the D's will have to sort that out in this game. They cannot leave too many Hawks at ground level around goal.
So Hipwell kicked 2 goals in the last quarter of the last game. Can she pick up where she left off? You bet she can.
And that's the danger of Hawthorn. We've seen their ability to kick high scores in such little amounts of time this year. It's been incredible to watch. Some of the funnest footy I know that I've watched in the whole existence of the AFLW, Jack, and it's because they're such high energy. They go direct to goal and they trust their forwards ahead of the ball to get to work.
The stat that stands out to back that up, Rubes, is they only average 29 disposals per goal. They're a mile ahead of everyone else in that statistic, which obviously tells us that they're just playing direct and exciting footy.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not messing around with it, and I think it's because they have so much trust in their players all over the ground. That's what that tells me. They have a really solid back half, mid half and front half that they can just trust to get to work and set up behind their forwards, trap it in and be able to kick goals from it.
Emily Bates, 5 disposals to start the night for Hawthorn. Wayne Mackin has 5 for Naarm. Here's Bates with number 6. High ball to half forward. Awkward one for Baskaran, who kicked a couple of goals last week in her return, but Goldrick breaks away. Good kick out into space. And Zanka can gather, straighten up and steer it into the pocket. Just wide of goal and it's out of bounds.
Hannah Davies on the boundary with an update for us, Hannah.
Thanks, Kelly. Yeah, Jess Vukic for Hawthorn has just gone down into the rooms. She had 2 trainers checking out her left leg and she looked pretty uncomfortable when they were working out what the issue was. I'll keep an eye on that one for you.
Thanks for that. Wales reaching up over the top. Purcell dispossessed. So too was Michaela Williamson. Still going, goes to ground. Bates swoops. Got taken high. All the experience in the world. Wins the free kick against Fitzsimon. Two former D's players from last year, 2 former premiership players for the D's out there tonight. In Sheriff and Eliza West, they've gone on and had, particularly Eliza West has had a brilliant season. Breed to Williamson. Purcell. Mackin. Over the top, Fitzsimon. Stabs it to a one-on-one. It goes over the head of Campbell. Zanka's there. Kemp drives it long to the wing. Ashmore. She's got help. Eardley. Ashmore. Tried to get the well-weighted pass up, but that'll be a last touch rule and a free kick to the Demons.
Not bad ball movement out of their back half though, Hawthorn. That went deep inside 50 for Nam just then, and they're able to get it about 20 metres from their forward 50. So they're able to switch the lanes and work it out of their defensive 50 pretty well right now.
Perfect night for footy in Cairns. No excuses for both teams this evening. Lucas Rott bends down and picks it up. They can't get it out.
Another one who's really impressed me for the Hawks this year, All-Australian lock, I think.
She's never been an All-Australian.
No, and they've been incredible, to be honest. They've their ability, as we see, Jazz Fleming, who's another one who's just been incredible.
Low flat pass to centre half forward. Bascarin couldn't mark. Fitzsimon kicks around the corner. Here's Tamara Smith, and Kelly loves the space buns. You were obsessed with them last week, Kel.
Oh, I just love the honesty in the interview during the match. They're pushing forward again. It's a long bomb. Goes right across the face from Eardley. Mackin's kick, still alive. Here's Casey Sheriff. First touch since round 2. Broke her leg. Meant to be missing the season. She's back in. She's brave. Kick was smothered, and then Gillard makes sure she holds it up. Unbelievable to see her back out there playing against her former team. Premiership player with the Deeds. Nice side stick, Goldrick. Bannon. And then on the left, thumps it. Huge clash in the air. Ainsley Kemp picks it up, blazes away and gives it straight back to the opposition. And Mackin's got it. 7th disposal, the most for the D's so far.
Pumps it long out of defence. Pack forms on the wing. Fitzsimon got boot to ball. Here's Smith once more. And she can gather cleanly. They've got some options up ahead, and now they start to work it out. Fleming, one of their premium ball users, and that's why.
And she keeps running. She's on again if they go over the top.
McDonough goes back to her. So she's got a great chance here, Jazz Fleming, to cap off her good work.
Smart by McDonough. I think that was probably just outside of her range. She's a good kick, but possibly just outside. And Jazz Fleming, I mean, we're just seeing her grow with every game. She is an absolute star emerging in this competition. Moves, I've said it so many times, moves so much like Monconti, and I think we're going to see her get to as greater heights as Monconti as well.
Top 3 in both years of Hawthorn's best and fairest. You'd expect she'll be around that mark again this year. She's pure class. The Hawks in front.
Doesn't she love it? She's only kicked a couple of goals in her career. The first of them came this season. With her ability to be clean around the ball, you can see it's getting a little dewy out there, a few fumbles, but she's so good at bursting out of stoppages, bursting out of congestion, really calming herself, finding a target and hitting them lace out. But then also the smarts to go, right, there's a little pocket here that I can move into and get used again, and it's purely gut running and game IQ, and it's 2 things that Jazz Fleming has in spades.
Good news from down on the boundary. Jess Vukic, all good to go for the Hawks. Had that left leg looked at. And here she is in the ruck. And they're bursting out of the centre again through their skipper, Bates. Fleming. In fact, it was Hipwell that was tossed aside and pinged for holding. It'll be a free kick to the D's. Taylor's got it. This is Denby. Goes long. Pearce, nice, neat pick up off to Hanks. Goldrick. She's got time to gather. Loops it over the top. McNamara back inboard. It was dangerous. And Bannon couldn't take it cleanly because of the pressure. 4 goals last week. Bannon back to her best. McNamara was held, Hanks was held. It'll be a free kick. She wants to go. And she's got McNamara wide. Looks up, goes long and quick and strong. Rising high was Campbell, couldn't pull down the mark. Stevenson's at the back. Dinky little left, needed to be well weighted, but it wasn't. Heath with the intercepting mark. Heath goes long and there's no one home. And repelling it is Laura Elliott. Gives it off to Smith, and Smith's delivery is perfection, and the Hawks are away.
Gee, how clean was that coming out of defence?
It wasn't, but I feel Dee's forwards didn't quite put that forward pressure on that you'd expect from your forwards, just to make that little bit more difficult.
Just as I said that, Hawthorn gave it straight back to Nam, and now they're starting to surge forward. And Purcell. And disposal number 6 from centre half forward. High ball, they've got some tall marking targets, the D's. It's worth heading that way. Bates wrapped up by McNamara.
Bates on early, 8 disposals so far in the quarter. As we said, the inside 50s there. Nam 9 to the Hawks 7. So up to early dominance from the D's, and they're finding him in forward 50 now.
Last couple of minutes of this first quarter. Cazalay Stadium in Cairns. Hanks is hunting around the footy. Stevenson has her. It's locked up once more.
Life just made that little bit trickier for Hanks, losing Kate Hoare in the middle. She's going to have to do a lot of work tonight.
Aileen Gilroy hasn't had a touch yet. Oh, there she is.
Right on cue.
Yeah, about 12 touches last week and 3 goals was impressive. Look at this. They're trying to go from end to end under the pump here, the D's. It's a 2-on-2. Wales takes off. She's in with Taylor. Taylor, the second gamer, goes to ground. Wales keeps battling on. Now Denby Taylor rolls that, a real roller. Picked up by McNamara, back to Taylor. This time she skies it. High, will it land in? Just. Is that last touch off Lily Mithen? I think it is. She realises that it is.
That was well done by Saray Taylor. Did just enough then to stop that Hawks getting out the back. It was a 2v1 and she was able to work it back into a free kick at the halfway line, which is an absolute win for Nam.
1-on-1 inside 50 with Anya McDonough. That doesn't seem like a lot of fun if you're a defender.
Not a lot, particularly when you've got Wales there to support McDonough as well. It's definitely not a fun position to be in, so she did very well.
West has had a busy first quarter. Kicks into space, it bounces off the chest of Hipwell. Purcell from a standing start. Quite clear the area. Maybe it could have been a free kick to Elliott. Here's Bannon, a long way from her natural habitat. Back to Tyler Hanks. Here's composure. They use Mithen out wide. She calls for calm with the last 30 seconds of the quarter.
Warm conditions came in Cairns to kickstart Indigenous round as Smith, umpire says play on. It emerges for the D's. Have they got time? Zanka needs it to sit well. It clears her head and opens the door for Fleming to bang it out of strife. Donna, almost Sheriff Rather it is. Well played by Chaplin. Such great composure. And then stripped of it is McNamara. Can Smith go here? Tamara Smith. Siren sounds. And we've had 3 scores for the night, 3 majors in warm, sweltering conditions. 2 straight 12, Hawthorn, and it's Nam 1 straight 6.
All right, welcome in everybody. How you going? We've got football action here again. AFLW football live from Cazalay Stadium up there in the sunny northern part of Australia called Cairns. I tell you what, should be nice and warm up there. Thanks for everyone coming in. I know a few people will be glad we've got a little bit of football back on the table. I tell you what, I only just made it home to get this game covered. Ryan, how you going? Squire, Bianca, good to see you. Happy Thursday. Harvey, how you going? Port Adelaide is going to win by 50 plus on Sunday. Streaming the game. If I'm home, if I'm here and I'm available, I'll definitely be streaming the football. It just depends. I know there's a couple of other big games I wanted to do, like the World Series, the PBA, but I'm pretty sure I should be able to get a couple of football games done. As I said, if I'm home. all plans going at the moment, I should be home. So there we go. Just hoping. Let's just have a look at, I just wanted to bring this in, have a look at the ladder at the moment, because we've only got one round of AFLW football to come after this round, and then we're into the finals. And of course, Hawthorn are leading the way. They're on top of the ladder. Have a look at that. They're going pretty good. I will adjust this camera in a little bit and bring it back a little bit. Just trying to... It does need to come back a little bit, doesn't it? My gosh. Anyway, there we go. Hawthorn on top of the ladder. There we go. Played 10 games. Oh, this is round 10 for them. So this may be the last round, and then we're into the finals. They've won 9, lost 1. Melbourne have given it a good hard crack at them this evening. Of course, Melbourne down there called an arm for this round. Well, they are equal 8th with Essendon and Port Adelaide, of course. And of course, Port Adelaide, they're not too bad for the sake of the reason is that Melbourne's percentage is lower. But of course, Port Adelaide fans, Harvey, you'll be definitely wanting Hawthorn to win this game tonight. Of course, we've got St Kilda down there on 16, a game out also. So anything could change for the top 8 as the ladder goes by. I want to get into the team stats there. Blake McCann is on top there for Melbourne. 8 disposals with Tyler Hanks on 8, and of course Goldridge on 8. And Emily Bates leading the way for the Hawks on 8 also. Let's just roll down this. I was a little bit late in here. I'll be cheering for Port for you, Harvey. There we go. Bianca's happy because Hawthorn are just on fire. They're on top of the ladder. Can you believe it? Tell you what, not just the AFL, the men's team going well, but the women's AFLW team are going just as well. I'll tell you what, they could be hard to beat. But I tell you what, folks, if you want to listen in or watch, if you got KO and you can watch live the game tomorrow, I believe the game tomorrow, let me just double check that for everyone in the house. I believe that is Adelaide and North Melbourne. There we go. 2nd and 3rd on the ladder. 2nd and 3rd play tomorrow evening. That should be an absolute ring-a-ding-ding cracker game. Wowee. That's going to be the match of the round so far. There we go, looking at the disposal count. Melbourne leading the way by 24. Just a handful of kicks, a lot more handballs, getting the handball chain up going. Inside 50s, both teams having their opportunity there. 2 scoring shots to 1 for both inside 59 times. Free kicks, all square, 4 apiece. Efficiency inside 50, both teams. Well, they really do need to lift that. But their efficiency is pretty high. Disposal efficiency around the ground, so that's pretty good. Hawthorn by 3 in the hitouts. The clearances reasonably level, but Hawthorn dominating, of course, in the centre clearance. There we go. All right, that's enough just for that one for now. Let's get back down to the ground, and they'll take us into the second quarter, whereas the Hawks by 6 points.
Into the first change, Ruby Slicer. What did you make of that first turn?
Well, I felt the D's actually controlled a lot of the game. I mean, contested possessions, they're winning +3. Uncontested possessions, they're winning +12. And they've got 15 more handball receives, which is obviously their game plan. But obviously Hawks, we've spoken about how easy they are able to put scores on the board, and they have multiple avenues to goals as well, which is what makes them so dangerous as a forward line. So, I mean, the D's have to continue to play the game plan that they've gone with, but they need to start making their efforts inside 50 count.
Some of the numbers. Mackin's had it 9 times, Hanks 8 times, Goldrick 8 times for the Hawks. Bates with the 8 disposals, Fleming with 7 and a goal.
That'll be one of the best first quarters for Fleming in her career, I dare say. A pretty hot start, 7-1 for the 19-year-old.
How'd you like to be as a forward leading onto Jazz Fleming?
Well, you wouldn't need too much space, would you? Honestly, you'd get a step on your opponent and you go, I know that this is hitting me lace out on the chest. It'd be pretty beautiful footy to play.
Hawthorn lead Narm by a goal as we start the second quarter at Cazalay Stadium in Cairns. In a warm day that's become a warm night, things just getting slightly greasy. The question of who can adapt the best. Bates just picked up from where she left off in the first quarter. Flicks a handball wide to Michaela Williamson. Done some good things in her first season. Here's Anya McDonough, who last week, Kelly in Frankston, got followed around for 4 quarters by Pepper Randall. and I don't think she enjoyed her time that much.
And I reckon this is a bigger hit that she's copped from Eliza Mack. I mean, Pepper Randall is one of the most annoying defenders in the league. I think every player can vouch for that. If you've got Pepper Randall on you, it's going to be the most frustrating game. She's an incredible defender. But Eliza Mack, just a nice little whack for Anya McDonough there with that high tackle.
Yeah, she didn't have a lot of fun. Let's just say that last week. But she's back out there tonight. Good to see. Mackin's made a good start of the game for Narm. And Mithen back inboard to Mackin. Quick hands were nice. And Purcell sends it long and direct. Stevenson scrapping after that footy with Bannon. Ball up.
Hannah Davies was listening in to the D's coach, mixed in here at quarter time. Hannah, what did you hear?
Yeah, I sure was. The Hawthorn huddle, sorry. Danny Webster really happy though. He said he knew it would be hard to start with, but he was absolutely loving it and just wants them to double down now. And just a couple of things to focus on, which is, resetting when there's a turnover, using the whole width of the field, and just getting a hold of the turnovers as well.
Ashmore hitting up McDonough on the chest, gives it back to Bates, loops the handball back to Ashmore, has time for a fumble, a regather, sprints to 50, bangs it over the head of a couple of teammates, charging through his Gilroy, strips Heath of it, but Goldrick's there, mops up, and should be able to put it out. Purcell gathers in time. The give off the boot, perfect execution to Zanka. No one's inside 50. So she's going to have to hold it up, Eden. Melbourne's leading goal kicker last year. Slowish start, 5 this season. Just starting to find a bit of form. Laura Elliott repels it, and Zanka sits underneath the drop. Fitzsimons trying to barge her way through a little sneaky spot there was Mackin, and there wasn't enough room, and she's being pinged for holding.
Eliza West to take it. We mentioned playing against her former team, 36 games as a D. One of the shrewdest off-season recruits I think we've seen in the competition, Rubes, by Hawthorn.
Absolutely. Probably the best get in this off-season trade period, and geez, it's paid dividends for him.
Gall into the pocket. Bannon's after it and got it.
Well, I'm surprised to see Alyssa Bannon in that much space. I mean, just her opponent about 10 metres behind her, and if you're playing on Alyssa Bannon, she's a tricky one. You don't want her goal side, but you sure as hell don't want her in that much space either.
4 goals last week. She steps around and misses. Not by a lot.
Must have been close. Tell him by that face.
Kemp with the kick-in duties, hits up Fleming. Possession number 8 for Jazz Fleming. Usually good by foot, but not on that occasion. Her PB is 28. This is hard work for the D's. The kick into the pocket. Zanka got rid of her opponent illegally. Kemp says, thank you very much.
Just a nice little shove, had probably just slightly in her back. It looked like it probably could have gone either way. It was a pretty smart shove. It was beautifully timed, but just had to be a little bit more on the shoulder.
Lucas Rock on defensive 50.
They're a great ball user. It's what's set them apart this year.
They've got it back again. Lucas Rod is an All-Australian. You're hearing it more and more. Stevenson knocks it forward. D's out the fall. Fitzsimon. Hands were good from Lampard. Now Pearce bends down to pick it up. So clean below her knees normally. Bates was on the scene. She's been everywhere in this game so far. Ashmore cuts back inside. 2-on-2 inside forward 50. They haven't quite got rid of the area yet, Melbourne. McDonough pounces. Dangerous. In front of goal. All day, every day.
Well, it was well done, McDonough. You can see she's chipping away. The leading goal scorer so far in this year. It's a tussle between the Irish for the leading goal scorer for the Hawks, between her and Aileen Gilroy this year, but she has just been so impressive, and in that one there, just her ability to keep fighting it, and that is what, I guess, defines her as we look at the Medibank mind-blowing moment. Just this inside 50 here from Caitlin Ashmore, no messing around, gets it. We see her just trying to block the space, overruns it, but then the ability to fight through it, break a tackle and chuck it on the boot. And I think that's the beauty of a lot of the Irish players, is their ability to make something of nothing. They are all users of both sides of their body. Anya's a lefty, but their ability to just score goals from random positions is really, really influential in this game.
Stolen out of the bullseye by Fleming and sends it to McDonough again. She's got 12 for the season. Gilroy, her teammates, got 13, and she is happy to hand them off and spears that beautifully to Hipwell.
Again, we speak about the danger of the Hawks and the direct footy they play. Once they get a sniff, they just put their foot on the gas, and it's like it just gets them revved up and they're ready to go. This is the type of footy they absolutely love. Fast footy, no breathers, and constant looks at goals.
So Hipwell looking for her second of the game. Kicked 2 in the last quarter, as I mentioned last week. And just hangs that out to the right. And let off there for the D's, because they're threatening to put their foot down here at Cazalay Stadium in Cairns tonight. And when the Hawks put their foot down, Jack, it's great for fans to watch, but if you're the opposition, your head's going to be spinning.
Well, then it's not called footy, Cole, it's called hot ball, when they put their foot down and they take off like that. It's a whole different game. Lou Stevenson has spent some time forward, some time back, since she came back into the team a couple of weeks ago. Important 4 or 5 minutes for the Demons here, Rubes. As Kelly said, it's just looking like Hawthorn are starting to get the game on their terms.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're playing good footy around the ground. Their ability to hit targets and use the free has been impressive, as we see that mark from Fleming. But this is what's setting the Hawks aside. They're classy ball users, and their ability to go inside with such poise is breaking this game open.
What about that sidestep from Jazz Fleming? Brilliant. And as Williamson looks into the pocket, Bascarin lurking, as is McLaughlin. It's kicked off the ground. And Williamson, 50 metres away from goal. Nice body use from Smith. McLaughlin still working towards it. McNamara loops in over the top, and eventually Melbourne can get things going their way.
Not quite. Stolen by the Hawks. Vukic. Well done by Lucas Rod. Fires it out. Quickly Fitzsimon. Strong mark with Bates bearing down. D's need a bit of confidence in their flow forward. Zanka, Mithen, just allows the door from Kemp to come in and tackle and then follow down to slap it down. Hanks works her way in front of Lucas Rod, runs straight into Bates, ball spills clear. Then your body on the line there. Breed with a huge tackle. Bates, Lucas Rod, skies it. Closing late was brilliant. That was McDonough. Or Erdley it was. Erdley's still going. Nothing's clean, nothing's easy here for the D's. Goldrick breaks through. Here's her speed. But because of the tackle, it affects the kick. Opens the door for Smith. Zanka got her high, the umpire says. It'll be a free kick for Tamara Smith. Hawks are really starting to dictate play here. Eardley launches. McDonough, target. McDonough with the mark.
Well, how good was that body work from McDonough? I mean, if she's not got you for pace on a ground ball, she's got you for body work. Just smart back shoulder positioning, nudged her opponent under the ball, and it ended up being a beautiful chest mark. And she lines up for her second.
To crack this game wide open for the high-flying Hawks. And missing. As I said, she's got 12 for the season, Ruby, and her compatriot and teammate Gilroy's got 13. Do you reckon they got a little side hustle bet on?
I reckon. I know both pretty well, so I reckon there'd definitely be a few words between them.
Who will claim that leading goal kicker mantle for Hawthorn? And there's been plenty of them. Plenty of goals kicked this season.
Both pretty good trash talkers, so there'd be some interesting conversations between them. Two of the great wordsmiths they are, as much of the Irish are.
Once you understand it.
Yes, exactly, once you get over the language barrier.
The Hawks by 13 points.
Seriously, who would win, Australia or Ireland? I'm going to get Lauren Wood to do her Australian team, and I'm going to do my Irish team.
It's two completely different games of footy you're watching.
Yeah, but you're sitting on the fence.
Oh, well, hopefully I'd be playing for Australia, so, I mean, it'd be nice to play in.
Well,
you'd be running a lot if you're playing on the Irish players, I'll tell you that much.
If we're picking the team you're in, so...
Thank you.
That's one less selection headache. The ball's out of bounds. It would be, Cal.
We're going to sit down and do it. Lauren Wood and I are going to sit down and do it.
It'd be a fascinating game to watch,
awesome.
just to see what would happen.
You're going to do it, AFL. Do it.
We're available for that one, aren't we?
That's it. Fill the Irish pubs up wherever you go.
You don't have to worry about filling the Irish pubs up. They're all pretty much full.
They open at 11 and they're full. Here's Gilroy, speak of the devil. One of the Irish stars out there tonight. Couldn't take that one away, Purcell. Handball to her former teammate now, Casey Sheriff. He runs out of room next to the fence.
Gilroy, just the 2 touches so far, but the thing about Gilroy is she doesn't need much to do damage. She can go quiet for a quarter and then she'll come out the next and kick 3. So that's what she's been doing all season, and it's been working for her. So it might be quiet now, but you can expect maybe a big second half from her.
Bit on the line for the Hawks too. They're leading the McClellan Trophy at the moment for the men's and the women's programs. There's $1 million up for grab for the team that comes away successful. And the Hawks lead with 2 rounds to go in the season after Brisbane's loss last week. Nice clearing work from Goldrick. As Zanka is going searching for the footy and just to try and stop a bit of this bleeding that's going on right now. Campbell didn't quite find Campbell. Followed up though from Wotherspoon. Here's Bannon. There's some space once she tries to pick up this cake of soap. And now they've run out of space. Here's Smith on the scene, but it's still alive, and Bannon can kick around the corner.
It's a curler. And in the right place, right time, Jenna Richardson. As she has been so much this season. Fleming with a nice take. And the give will be good. It is. Straight to McLaughlin. She goes short as well, diving. West takes off against her Filmer team. Gives it to Hayley McLaughlin. What's her delivery like? It's an awkward little pickup here. Baskaren does well. Handball's over her head to Sharon, who just forces it on the boot. Here's a chance for the Hawks. No, tackle by Mackin.
How is that by Baskaren? Just knows she's got a player there supporting, and I think that's what makes Hawks' system so good, is they show up in numbers. As we see the inside 50 count there, 9-4 going the Hawks' way. But they turn up in numbers, whether it's defensively, offensively. They outnumber the opposition. They know they've got teammates there for support. So Baskaren just knowing she's got a teammate there and able to do that over the head handball.
Deep in attack here for the Hawks. Gilroy tossed off it. Lucas Rod, an awkward little pickup. Couldn't do it in the end. Kept it trapped in there for Williamson, who fired it out, but it's the D's, and then really had to get on her bike. It was Richardson. Floating down from defence. Can she set up something here? It skittles a few of them. Baskaren ran into a D, and so just handballed into space. Picked up by West. Throws it on the boot. Blazes away, misses everything.
It's important to note the Hawks missing arguably their best small forward in Greta Bodie as well. I mean, when you put her into the mix as well, that's an even scarier Hawthorn side. She's kicked a bag of 6 once this year already against the Saints. She's such a talent, and imagine if they had her at the feet of Hawthorn's tools as well.
Look, this is the thing for Dan Webster, Rubes, that he's going to have in the next couple of weeks is Greta Bodie's still a bit of a TBC with her toe. Stratton's a week or two away with an ankle. She played early in the season. Stone's a week away with an ankle. And Emily Everest is out ill this round. So he's going to have the full list pretty much to choose from for finals.
It's a good problem to have, isn't it?
Not a problem you had earlier in the season.
We've had the opposite.
Not a problem Melbourne had earlier in the year too, but Narma found a way back. They've won their last 4. Gilroy hoiks it over her shoulder. West in pursuit. Got a little kick that's going to put Narma under some pressure. Good contest. Wotherspoon kept her eyes on it the whole time. Showed good courage and uses Zanka.
Zanka coming up for her 6th disposal. Out wide. Oh, that's a strong mark by Bannon. She's a player in form. And when she's in form, look out. Although that kick to the one-on-one, fantastic mark by Jenna Richardson. Can't speak highly enough of the season she's had as that deep defender. Works it to Sheriff, to Fleming. Here we go with the ball use. Look at Bates getting on her bike, sprinting from one wing to the other. They flare and spread the opposition so wide. Pearce couldn't take it. Bates is there at the fall of the ball.
You speak about Jenna Richardson, and the way she's played her game this year is that often deep last line defender. It's allowed the likes of Tilly Lucas-Rod to turn themselves into an All-Australian because Jenna's been so safe as that last line and taking often the really dangerous tall defender and plays a role that allows Tilly to get more dangerous and be able to run off and give that really good ball use off of half-back, which generates a lot of Hawks ball movement. It does come off that half-back with really good ball users, and it's a whole system thing, and Jenna Richardson is a big part of that.
Leads the competition for marks this season, Jenna Richardson, averaging about 5.5 a game. And another one of these boom Hawthorn youngsters. She's only 23. Her best footy is still to come. Likewise for Lucy Wales, is one of the big improvers in the competition this season. As Gilroy sees it towards the boundary line. So Nam starting 1-4 in season 9. They were absolutely battered by injuries in the first month.
They were 16th after 5 rounds.
And unbelievable, Cal, to think now with 2 rounds to go, we're talking about them making finals. It's been an incredible turnaround. They've got access to some of their best players and good things have happened. There's Fleming. Cuts back inside. Brilliant kick to centre half forward. Spotted Ashmore, who was all on her own, and then patiently pops it over the top to Lucas Rod. They might just be on their measure distance-wise here.
Looks like they're going to back themselves. I reckon they might just be on the border. Bit of doubt in their mind.
Hasn't kicked one this season, and only 7 in their 73-game career. It's not going to make the distance. And Sheriff lurking. Still time for Hawthorn if they're good enough. Wales can gather. Decision to make. Fleming, little lateral kick. Still time. Now they need a mark inside 50. Stevenson lays it off. It was a bit too short. And Zanka marks.
Just had to go a little bit deeper then when you're at that top of the 50. Just attack the last line. Try allow your forwards to get to work, particularly when you've got even numbers ahead of the ball. No point going short. Just get it long, see what your forwards can create.
So a real tug of war in that first quarter. Hawks with a 6-point lead at quarter time. Just a bit too much firepower in that second. And they stretch the lead to 13 points at the main break. 3-2-20 to Melbourne, 1-1-7. And Fleming's had it 15 times.
Going at 80% disposal efficiency as well, which we said sets her apart from the rest. And then we saw a little bit of a shank, that her last kick of that quarter, but it's probably the only one we'll see of this whole game.
She's on track for a PB, which is 28. Eliza West, 13, and Emily Bates, 12. And then for Nam, Mackin is on track for a PB because she's had 15 disposals and her best is 25. Okay, let's get down at ground level with Hannah Davies.
Tilly, that's a great start from your side here. Where do you think you'll look to tidy up in the second half in case of a fight back from Nam?
I think we know they're really strong inside the contest, so I want to keep bringing that heat, which I think we've done well. And then it's about how we can use it better on the outside, I think, going forward.
It's looking pretty free-flowing out there. Is it feeling like that for you?
Yeah, it's really nice on this deck. I think we've been playing on some smaller grounds and skinnier grounds, and we like the open space, so it's really nice to be here on such a big field.
Thanks for your insight. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Hawks lead it, 13 points at half-time, second half. Not too far away from Cairns.
All right, we'll be back with the commentators, folks, when they're back from their little break. But let's just have a little bit of a look here. Tell you what, Melbourne are doing a fantastic job here. They're hanging on to a really good outfit here in Hawthorn. Hawthorn putting on 1 goal, 2 in that second term. Melbourne just managing the one behind. I tell you what, she's a real arm wrestle with only 13 points of difference here at half time, folks. This is anybody's game, but I do expect Hawthorn to start and unleash that little bit of running power that they've got. And we'll just have to wait and see what Melbourne have got. Can Melbourne fight back, get amongst it? Let's just have a little bit of a look at some of the disposal stats. Just a minute there, Ryan. Let me just get to you. Let me just drop that upcoming for Ryan is copy. Righto. Just a moment, folks. There we go. Leading disposal getter on the ground, of course, is Blathan Mackin there from Melbourne. 15 disposals. Tell you what, there's a few girls up there getting the ball quite a bit there. 15 for her. Jasmine Fleming, who normally has an absolute cracker of a game. She's going well again. 15 disposals there for the Hawks. 14 kicks. Just the one handball, though. But she's taken 6 nice marks and had a tackle. Kicked a sausage roll. We'll have a look at the goal scorers in just a moment. Well, there's not too many in this game, but we will see. We will see. Eliza West there. She's doing her normal, fantastic game. 14 disposals, 6 kicks, 8 handballs, 2 marks, 5 tackles. Olivia Purcell next best with Goldrick there for Melbourne, both on 12. There we go. As we roll down the board, Caitlin Ashmore there, 8 disposals there for the Hawks. Sarah Lampard was 6 there for Melbourne. I'll just run this down slowly, just in case you're having a bit of a look at your favourite player. And you can check out their stats. So this here, folks, this is the disposal count, what they've had. And that consists of the kicks and the handballs. The kicks are next door, and the handballs are the one beside that as well. All right, let's just roll down this board a little bit more. Then we'll scroll back up. We'll have a look at the goal scorers. And of course, we'll always have a little bit of a look at the AFLW fantasy points game progressive match points. All right, these are the goal scorers so far, and of course, all single goal scorers. Aine McDonough, Bridie Hipwell, and Jasmine Fleming, single goal scorers there for Hawks, and of course, Georgie Gow, the only single goal scorer for Melbourne. The moment, there we go, leading the table. If you play the AFL fantasy game, fantasy points there for the AFLW action. We've got Jasmine Fleming. She tops the table with 72. That's a pretty good score in anyone's language. 72 points up until half time. Eliza West, 58. As we expect those two normally at the top of the table, they do play well. Tilly Lucas-Rod, next best on 48. Emily Bates, 46. Best for Melbourne is Mackin there on 43. All right, let's quickly duck over now and have a little bit of a look at the team stats up until half time. And of course, it's levelled itself back out now, just 4 disposals between both of these sides. Hawthorn on top in the kicks by 14, the handballs 18 to Melbourne. Inside 50s, Hawthorn got away a little bit in that second term, going inside 50 12 times. Melbourne just the 4 times. 21 inside 50s to 13, 5 scoring shots to 2. Hawthorn in favour there. Disposal efficiency, well, not too bad for both sides. Efficiency inside 50, Hawthorn picking it up a little bit. Still need to lift it a little bit more. Free kicks 7-14. There we go. All right, let's have a look at the stoppages. Let's have a look at the hit-outs now. Hawthorn still in front in that department, 17-12. Clearances 17-11. Centre clearances 5-1. Dominating in all areas in the hit-out clearance department, there are the Hawks. Of course, 12-10 in the stoppage clearances. Contested possession, both players going pretty hard for the ball there, as you can see. 64 apiece, uncontested. No one really getting the free ball, the free time with hand-in ball there, 75-70. Turnovers 34 apiece. As I said, it's a real arm wrestle game. This one we have here tonight, folks. It's a ring-a-ding-ding game. It's a cracker. That's one you don't want to miss. So you want to just stay tuned, listen in on this one. I'll tell you what, it's anyone's ball game up at half time. Hawthorn leading the mark count though, 33-19, a little bit stronger in the air. Marks inside 50. Hawthorn finding their targets well. It's always important going inside forward 50. You really want to be inside, instead of inside 50, you want to be pretty much inside 30 for the girls to kick the range. Normally the inside 50 is for the AFL size, the men's size who kick 50, but probably the inside 30 is where we want to be for the ladies. Contested marks 3-1, not too bad. Let's just have a look at some of the tackles. 36-25, both tackling well, as inside 50 tackles both play well. All right, let's head back down to the commentators. They'll give us a little bit of analysis on the first half.
Plays well on Sunday when the Saints play the Dogs in Ballarat. Got a win to keep their season alive. Meanwhile, in Cairns, we're going all over the country this weekend for Indigenous round. It's the Hawks by 13 points, 3-2-20 to Melbourne 1-1-7. Ruby Slisher, take us through these Chemist Warehouse half-time highlights.
Well, Tyler Hanks started it off with this inside 50 to Georgia Gall, who kicked truly for the D's only goal for that first half. And then it was all Hawks. I mean, the first quarter, the D's really controlled the game with their ball movement, but weren't able to make them pay. Now, this second quarter, the Hawks have really taken off. I mean, Jazz Fleming has been a star, 15 disposals, a goal, 2 clearances and 3 score involvements. And then Anya McDonough got really dangerous for their second with this beautiful little left foot snap that dribbled through, and we've spoken about it a lot, but the danger of the Hawks and their ability to get scores on the board really quickly. It's been a hot contest, but the Hawks are slowly chipping away and starting to win in the contest.
Well, they're still alive for the minor premiership, so they've got to just keep winning. They've won 6 in a row. Can they make it 8 in a row heading into the finals? Will they beat the minor premiers? Got North Melbourne ahead of them on the ladder. They lead it by 13. Back with the second half very, very shortly.
The opening game of week 9 in the AFLW competition. It's Hawthorn who lead by 13 points at halftime, 3-2-20 to Narm 1-1-7. Hannah Davies is downstairs all night long. Is it starting to get a little greasy, Hannah?
Look, not quite. Pretty much any breeze that we had earlier on has really started to subside. It's still about 24 degrees, so still pretty hot. But in terms of the dew, that's what's really building and will look to have an impact in this second half. It's pretty slippery and wet out there, so definitely be keeping an eye on that one.
Hannah Davies at Cazalay Stadium. Jazz Fleming, 15 disposals. Eliza West, 14. Emily Bates, 13. So all of the Hawks' prime movers, Rubes, have had a lot of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And great ball users as well. We spoke about Jazz Fleming running at 80%, Emily Bates 85%. So they're getting a lot of it, but they're using the ball really well as well and getting involved in the scoring. Few score involvements for each of those players. So they're going to play a big part in this second half to keep the Hawks on top.
Hawks looking to make it 7 in a row. Third quarter underway in far north Queensland. Here is Mattia Breed, a little quiet in the first half. West over the top to Bates. Plenty of scoring options to choose from inside 50. Gillard is tackled unfairly and will take a free kick. Talia Gillard did Kokoda in the off-season just to have a nice quiet break. Trek Kokoda. Long out of defence from Lucy Wales is there. It's such a good season. Brings it back inboard to Kemp. Hawks long and direct. They know no other way. McDonough in the vicinity. Gilroy not too far away either. The bounce eludes them all. Lampard. Heath, quick hands. McNamara's got some problems. Bates has got her.
Something the Hawks have done really well is just shut down all avenues that the Ds try to take when using their hands out of stoppage. They don't all get sucked to the one ball carrier. They close down the exits as well.
Here's Gilroy. Keeps her feet. Sidestep. Boot to ball. Bounces. Breed. Happy to be held up in the tackle. Mattia Breed, one of 2 Indigenous players out there tonight, a Tiwi woman. Here she is, firing it off to West. Breed goes in again, a hurried toe peek. Poker pinballs around before the D's with the exiting kick. It's chopped off by Wales. Spears it over the head of the leading McDonough. And the D's through Mackin. Just a roller, sits nicely for Mithen to take, and then she was dealt with harshly, dumped after she got rid of it. So Lily Mithen will win the free kick.
I'm not sure how much more you can do in a tackle than that. I didn't think it was a dangerous tackle by any means, but the umpire thought differently. I thought she came in front on, a bit of a spear-like tackle, but I thought she looked after her as much as you can in that position.
Very slippery conditions out there. 25 degrees. Weather Bureau says it feels like 28 and pretty high humidity. So these conditions will get a little trickier as the night goes on. And it'll be a boundary throw in. Baskering missing the target in McDonough, who's already kicked one tonight.
She's looked dangerous. Every time the ball is in her direction on your McDonough's. Got that quad pretty heavily strapped for a second week in a row as well. Hanks couldn't take it away. Here's Breed. Snap goes across the face. And escorted through for a behind. Just like the guy behind the goals, said Cal.
Nice night for sitting on the hill at Cazalay Stadium.
It's beautiful, why not? 24 degrees.
Or the launch from Zanka was illegal. Leapt up into the back. And Louise Stevenson will get it. Now, she's a thumping lefty. She pulls it, keeps it short, able to hit up the target. Does well. Gets it to Wales. Fires it off. Stolen here. This is Chaplin, who's had a wonderful season. Can they get some movement, some confidence in their flow forward? Purcell, one-on-one. Zanka in a matchup. She's got Richardson for company. Richardson goes to ground, so too does Zanka. Loops it up. Georgia goal. Mithen. Hurried kick off the turf. Snapping around her body, but there was no one home. It was Blaheen Naka.
Richardson, risky kick. It's okay. Maura Elliott, going number 8 of the season, slowly and quietly going about building a nice career in her 3rd season. And Williamson rolls one into the centre square. And Purcell straightens the back, sends it back to the attacking area. Mithen alongside Zanka, who thought she got one high.
Richardson doing well on Zanka at the moment. Smart not to get involved in body work too early on in those aerial contests. Zanka will be able to outbody her, so she's just timing it beautifully, reading the ball in the air and making contact late to try and bring it to ground.
Nam kicked the first goal of the game. Haven't been able to add another one since. As it starts to get very greasy at Cazalay Stadium. McDonough dancing around. Missed her teammate driving by, McNamara. Wales got her fingertips under the footy. Takes a nice mark at halfback.
They're lining up. Williamson getting involved, grubbering a kick. Spinning around in a 360 early. Goldrick takes off. Mithen. McNamara. No smooth movement going forward because the Hawks are all over them at the moment. And they'll go again. The sweeping handball. Out wide. Bascaran tackled by Saray Taylor. Late inclusion. After they lost Kate Hoare and Gabrielle Colvin. So 2 youngsters named in, Lily Johnson and Taylor. Wales continues to battle it out. Kemp bombs it in front. McDonough, can she control it? Pushed into the turf. Gilroy comes in hard. Oh, that is a dangerous tackle by Erdley. And Goldrick quick to bounce up onto her feet.
Quick to her feet, which is great for both players, but we look at that tackle there. Didn't land too heavy on her head. Looked like her shoulder protected her, but I mean, you expect that they'll have a look at it as soon as they're in any sort of dumping motion. They're pretty hot onto it.
So the inside 50 count jack is mounting. It's now 27-16 in the Hawks' favour. They just haven't been able to really push it on the board, have they?
Just feels like the dam walls are about to burst. It hasn't beaten everyone just yet. Now Williamson runs into the point post. She's okay. Another behind for the Hawks. It's not too dissimilar to the game last week against the Giants, Rubes. It was a bit of an arm wrestle for the first half for Hawthorn, and 3rd quarter now it's starting to break open and look the way they want.
Yeah, definitely. And it's happened in a few games this year, not just the Giants game, where almost just the Hawks' patience, but also their ability to execute their game plan for longer than their opponents. It really shows, I guess, the maturity of the side and the football that they're playing.
Skies the ball and up and under. Kemp, it didn't go the required distance. She didn't realise. And a couple of D's pounce. So if Nam can produce the next goal, it'll make things very interesting, even though this game has completely been dominated. And the Hawks have got it on their terms.
You could see Tyler Hanks acting captain in the absence of Kate Hoare, giving the team a rev up at half-time there just before they ran out to their positions. And at that stage of the game, you're saying, we've got a half a footy. We know we can score quickly. Is that Nam side? We've just got to believe we can do it. And Nam play a really exciting brand of football as well. High attacking brand of football.
Here's a chance for Ashmore. Fires it off. Quick shot from Hipwell. Spinning and missing.
Hipwell's had a couple looks at it. She had a set shot.
I think she's kicked 1 goal 2. Yep.
Yep, 1 goal 2 for Hipwell. So a few good opportunities. Great for her to be popping up.
Demons try and kick it as far away from the goal they're defending as possible.
It's hard for Narm defenders. Hipwell's got height as well, so who do you cover? Do you cover McDonough to leave Hipwell to get dangerous, or vice versa?
McNamara with disposal 14. Kicks it right into the centre square at Cazalay Stadium. Stevenson has some work to do. Zanka bodied off by Bates. There's Bates again, this time tackling Zanka. 15 disposals. 6 of those have been contested. 5 tackles. 4 inside 50s for Emily Bates so far tonight.
The D's work it to McNamara. Spearing pass was brilliant. Able to find Campbell, who can give it off. And now it's put out in front of Bannon. What can she do? She just picks it up and dribbles it towards goal. 1 bounce and it's through.
Well, it's a much better piece of play by Narm. Their ability to not mess around with the footy too much, not overuse the hands to invite the pressure, just get it to their teammate, get it to their teammate's advantage, and it's exactly what happened for Alyssa Bannon there, who ended up slightly goal side, but leading to the pocket, away from the footy from her teammate's kick, as we see the build-up play here. Just a good mark and a good handball receive, which is looks they were getting early in the first quarter. A lot of handball receives, but weren't making the most of it, where this one here, Alyssa Bannon just worked onto the footy, had time to pick it up and kick truly as she has the last few weeks.
So that's now 10 goals for the season, kicked 13 last year. And when she's got that sort of space available, good things always happen. So 10 points the difference. Narm, they're just hanging around.
Well, slippery footy, we spoke about the dual. Slippery footy can actually help a player like Alyssa Bannon. It's going to be sliding straight, get it in front of her.
McNamara got a handball off Campbell. Couldn't get her kick away. Tamara Smith made sure of that. Georgia Gall it was, my apologies. It's quickly thrown up. Oh, a bit of momentum for Narm. That'll definitely be a free kick.
That's Breed. I said she'd be fired up tonight in the Indigenous jumper. She's given away pretty reckless free there.
Eliza McNamara.
It doesn't take much to topple her over anyway, if you can catch her. I mean, she's only a little thing.
How rock solid and tough is she?
Isn't she? She's incredible.
A little outside her range, so decides to share, and that's a pretty good decision.
And she's been so impressive for this D's outfit.
Yeah.
She's had it so tough the last couple seasons. And a broken back, a broken nose. She's come back into this side and is such a great winger. Just runs her patterns well all day and kicks well to Alyssa Bannon then.
Bannon for her second. And if she's accurate, it's a 4-point game. Midway through the third quarter. Just slides away late.
It's a good look for the D's though. A couple looks for Alyssa Bannon in a couple minutes. So we know they can stack it on quick. Just a 9-point deficit, so not much in it at all.
They're clinging on for survival in season 2024 these days. Intriguing 4 minutes. Here goes Breed. Looping handball. Put Sheriff under the pump. A wobbly old kick. Gillard's got it and set upon. Talia Gillard, tallest player in the league at 190 centimetres. There's a little push in her back. It goes to Hanks. So Tyler Hanks. Oh, plays on. And guess who got it? Breed. Handballs it off to Fleming. Fleming, the beautiful kick. Out in front, just a little bit too much on it there for Baskaran. Heath Wonderful smother applied. Looping handball from McLaughlin to Fleming. They got it away. No, it was Hipwell, rather.
How good was that tackle by Matea Breed? I hope we can go back and have a look at that, because she was completely horizontal, dove out to just get the jumper of Tyler Hanks, who had tried to take her on around the mark. It was an incredible tackle.
She just really likes tackling people. Big fly! An Indigenous round. What a hanger from Breed. You gotta love that, and the entire Breed family will be loving it as well. Williamson's kick smothered out of bounds. That is a moment.
I heard a whisper that she was up for a big game. First of all, here's the tackle. There's the tackle you're talking about, Ruby. So doing it at ground level and then following it up. Says, you know what, I can do it in the air as well. Matea Breed. Work out of Waverley all week. She was up for a big one. The 23-year-old from the Tiwi Islands. A couple of great highlights. Bates playing in front. Couldn't take it. Erdley follows up with a fierce tackle. Gee, they got a real hunger, the Hawks, haven't they? Making life tough for Maeve Chaplin, who's been their best defender, arguably the best player this year for the D's. Knocked down by Pearce. Bates opens it up. Here's a chance. And a little fumble. And they should be able to dash away with it here. Lampard out of trouble momentarily as Samara Smith just shoves Lily Mithen in the back. Let's have a look. Look at this for a hanger, Matea Breed.
Well, you'll be interested to know I've just had possibly this year's W medalist Ebony Marinoff message me saying that's 50K. Ebony Marinoff's watching the game and she gives it at the nod. She reckons it's the mark of the year.
Well, you know, the sense of occasion rule, Indigenous round.
It's incredible.
And
what a grab.
One of the Indigenous players stands up from the Darwin Buffets and says, check out what we can do. It's just sensational. Fleming leaves it for Lucas Rod. Over the top of her skipper. Waiting at the back is Mackin. Bangs it, but it's all Hawthorn there. And Wales takes it. Lucy Wales. Ashmore. Smith. Spears it. West was the target. Well played by Goldrick. Trying to barge her way through is Witherspoon. And a minute to play before three-quarter time here.
Bates has been busy from the moment the game started, as has Eliza West. That's disposal 20. It's intercepted by Shelley Heath. So 50K according to Ebony Marinoff.
Apparently, although Steph Chiochi just messaged me saying Ebs just doesn't want a Port Adelaide player to win it. We know. Matilda Scholes.
That's it.
Had an absolute ripper a few weeks ago against my mob.
That rivalry just never stops, does it?
It doesn't. On field, off field.
Yep, all the way to the end.
It's going to be a great debate.
It will be.
It's going to be a great
debate. You know what? How exciting.
I'm watching your phone, Ruby, and it's lighting up. And mine's lighting up as well. And Schultz's mark was better. This is better. So
how good that we're getting these highlights, though. I mean, these kids that are coming through, their athletic ability, just bringing this excitement into the game. And we're seeing new stars emerge every game. We spoke about Matea Breed. We said, is this the game that she sort of breaks out and makes her mark in the competition? And I think she's just done that right there in those couple of moments in those 2 minutes.
Last 30 seconds of the third quarter. I'm just watching both of your phones light up. If you've got a nomination, you can text Ruby on 05. Oh, no, I won't do that. I won't do that. Richardson. Little kick to Lucas Rod. They had to turn around and give it back to Richardson, wasn't the required distance. And Lou Stevenson right next to the Hawthorn bench might have got the instruction to go. One last chance. Time might beat them. As the three-quarter time siren's about to sound. 9 points is going to separate these two at three-quarter time. The Hawks looking for 7 in a row. Nah, looking for 5 in a row. Big final quarter coming up from Cazalay Stadium in Cairns on Fox.
All right, folks, 3/4 time here. It's the Hawks by 9 points. I tell you what, we expected this gap to be a little bit bigger than just the 9 points. Hawthorn only managing 3 behinds in that quarter. Melbourne 1-1. Melbourne actually won that quarter. Tell you what, Hawthorn, they've had their chances. They've been inside 50 a few times. They're just, I don't know, well, look, some of their forwards are spreading well, but the kicks just aren't going well. As I said, Andy's well welcome in. As I said, maybe the humidity up there, because it is being played up there in Cairns in Queensland, more of a tropical area of Australia. The humidity is high, as I said, playing in 25 degrees, feeling like 28, and humidity right up. Tell you what, that's going to be hard for anyone to play in those conditions. The dew getting on the ground, etc., as I was saying at half time. But you know what, we're in for a good last quarter. Can Melbourne, Melbourne in that passage you played, they had a good breakaway from the back line down to their forward. They opened, they had 1-on-1 inside their forward 50, and they slotted the goal there. So that's how they got their goal that quarter, Melbourne. But most of the time, it's been living down centre forward for the Hawks. But they, the Hawks do look dangerous. I think Melbourne just getting out of that with a lucky sort of break. Good passage of play, but it's not really travelling down there too much at all. So, saying that, Hawthorn by 9 points, Melbourne will be very happy where they stand at the moment going into this final quarter. Hawthorn just need to do a few little things, get down the forward line, look, clear it out a little bit. It just gets a little bit too congested down there. Clear it out, give your forwards a little bit of space, and you'll have a few better options down there. All right, let's have a look at the leading disposal getter on the ground. Of course, Eliza West there with 20, and Mackin there from Melbourne on 20. Both two players topping the charts with 20. There we go. Elisa McKenna there with 18, with Goldridge 18, Lucas Rod 16, and Jasmine Fleming had a quiet quarter there, and Emily Bates both on 16, looking for big quarters in the final quarter from those two to get Hawthorn over the line. As I said, Hawthorn, their form line is like a picket fence. They've won about 7 or 8 of their last straight games. I'll tell you what, I'll show you the live ladder in a minute. There are your player stats up until 3/4 time. Let's just pop over and see if we had any goal scoring changes. Still McDonough hit well. Fleming, single goal scorers there, and of course the other goal scorer for Melbourne, Georgie Gall and Alyssa Bannon, both the goal scorers. Let's just have a look at this live ladder for you Hawthorn fans in the chat. And of course, this is the live ladder. Hawthorn go on to win this game. They go to the top of the ladder. That's it. They go to the top of the AFLW ladder here on 36 points. They'll be 2 points clear of the Kangaroos. Now, of course, the Kangaroos, they play Adelaide tomorrow. Second play third. If Adelaide end up winning that game, Hawthorn should be the minor premiers for the AFLW section. And what a big feat that will be for the Hawthorn Football Club. As, of course, the AFL team went super well this year. And, of course, the AFLW team going just as well. And, of course, for Melbourne, I tell you what, you need to win this game or it's season over for Melbourne. They're only out of the top 8 on percentage. So they've got a lot at stake to play for. That's why they're playing so well. They're so hungry at the ball. They're not giving up. I said Hawthorn going okay, but they're just probably playing a little bit under what they usually do. But anyway, folks, enjoy the final quarter. Good luck to your team. Don't forget to vote who you think's going to win, Hawthorn or Melbourne. And while you're there, give it a big thumbs up. Hit that like button for me. Appreciate that. And it's Hawthorn by 9 points. Let's take it back down to the ground for the final quarter.
For the very first game of Indigenous round.
It was incredible, wasn't it? I mean, the talk will be what's mark of the year, that one, or Matilda Scholes from Port Adelaide a couple of weeks ago against my mob. And geez, I reckon Mattia, I like that mark. I want to give it to her just for the reaction alone. How good was that?
Well, they both, Jack, had that shock reaction, didn't they? Because Matilda was mid-air when she clunked it and her jaw dropped as well.
I love Mattia's reaction. She knew she took a big one.
Yeah.
She wanted to soak that in. That was fantastic.
M&M's Matilda or Mattia. Let's get down to Hannah Davies, who's with Daniel Webster, the Hawks coach.
Daniel, it's an absolute arm wrestle out there. You haven't been able to break away. What's the biggest challenge Narm are presenting right now?
I mean, they're good. The physicality and pressure around the footy's been good, and we haven't handled the ball well enough, and our decision-making's been quite poor that quarter, I thought. So we're going to lift in that area of the game, definitely.
Knowing that you are locked in for finals, do we see you test anything, mix anything up in this last term?
No, all I care about is trying to win this game.
Thanks, Daniel. Best of luck.
Cheers, thank you.
Was blunt.
He always is good old Dan Webster. I reckon that's one thing we've learned to love. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. He's said it pretty honestly there, was he thought the decision-making was poor from his side in that quarter, and I think there was moments of really messy play from the Hawks, but we'll see if they can get back into their normal style of play this quarter.
Maybe Jess does all the talking in the Webster family.
I can believe that. I can believe that for sure.
Eliza West has had a very, very big night. Off to Williamson, who's building as well. That's her 11th disposal. Half forward, McDonough engaged in a little wrestle. Now Bates on the wing. Lucas Rod kicks wide. Hipwell's had an almost sort of night. 1 goal, 2. Couldn't wrestle that one away from Chaplin. McDonough. Now Williamson. Kicks that one out of bounds on the full. So when Dan Webster was talking about their decision-making, Rubes, and not being happy with it, was there anything in particular you saw in that third quarter?
Well, there was a little patch in that third quarter where you just sort of saw a lot of Hawks decision-making with ball in hand. I mean, a lot of kicks, scrubber kicks along the ground, a lot of missed marks, handballs that were putting teammates under pressure, which is very un-Hawks-like. They look for these 1v-nuns like right here where they've got a teammate clearly in space and they're really quick to pull the trigger as well, rather than sort of the indecision of not knowing who to kick to, which often leads to those poor decision-makings or scrubber kicks.
Goldrick, Chaplin, fighting, scrapping. Margin is 9. Hawks by 6 at quarter time, by 13 at half time. They lead it by 9. They have not been able to put Melbourne in bed yet. They've threatened and they've threatened all night. The D's are just hanging around. Hank's the acting captain tonight. No Cape Haw. Travelled with the team with a sore quad. Couldn't get through a last little run today. Big pack flies. Mithen fires it out to Hanks. Almost a look-away kick there to McNamara. Wasn't expecting it. Heath just leaves it for Goldrick to pick up and bang on her boot. Slap down. Oh, that was Macklin, who might have got a Hawks player instead of the Sharon. Purcell. McNamara. Zanka leaves it. A little bit of miscommunication there, and the Hawks looking to clear it. Richardson tackle to the turf. First goal, so critical here. Hawks playing for a win to secure top 2. Maybe keep alive their minor premiership hopes. North Melbourne yet to lose a game so far this season, sitting in prime position. But can the Hawks knock them off their perch? North have got the Crows, of course, tomorrow night. Mackin, another smother by the Hawks. And that was a little eager from Eliza West on her former teammate Hanks. Umpire, yes, says Hanks, you'll be rewarded with the free.
Risky ball coming back inside. Has almost come undone. Hipwell had a fumble. If she took that clean, she was through.
Yeah, absolutely. And the whole forward 50 would have opened up for American. They would have been just pumping it long 50 and the Gilroy or McDonough running onto it. But just a little fumble, just that dew coming into play.
Stevenson tries to bat it down to her advantage. And Campbell in pursuit for Nam. Has had a pretty quiet night, but that's a nice tackle on Richardson. Georgia Campbell in game number 19. Career highs in all the major stats this season. There's another that has taken advantage of some of the opportunities through injury. Fleming darting around at half-back. Has her kick smothered. West down low to Ashmore. Clever tap on from Bates, and it releases West.
Looks up, needed to be precise, slipped through the hands of McDonough. Gilroy comes through. First game for the whole season where she's yet to have an impact. Aileen Gilroy. They haven't needed her just yet, but an intriguing 12 minutes left here. Mithen works it to goal. There's no one home. Tilly Lucas-Robb just sweeping across that half-back line as they have done so well this season. Off to the run of Michaela Williamson. Spears it down to Hitwell. Now can use McLaughlin. Missed the target. Scrap ensues, 2 on 2. Some tired bodies out there in really muggy conditions, about 25 degrees. Hit balls kicked, 1 goal, 2 for the night.
It's still a 9-point lead to the Hawks. No score in the fourth quarter so far. Just 1 game to go in the season. After this, the Hawks have got Richmond next Sunday at Punt Road. That's a massive game. And Melbourne have got the Pies on Saturday at Icon Park. Sure do. He's just taking notes.
Scout reporting.
Brown and Watt. Kicks to a 3-on-1. Good contest by Campbell. Got it to ground level and kept it moving forward. That's a throw by Mackin.
Trying to argue it. Not sure what you can argue there. Definitely a little shovel off the ground.
Ashmore looked for West. Fumbled that ball late. Mackin arrives. Snatched away by Fleming. His handballs it into space. That's that trust that Ruby's been talking about. Gilroy from just out inside 50 had her kick smothered. The D's stand up.
Little contest on the wing. Zanka had it, lost it. Breed. Tackle. And she was caught by Fitzsimon. And Tia Breed has seen a brilliant tackle, a brilliant mark. Maybe a brilliant goal will top off her night. Oh, a head clash behind play. Kemp is tough. Kept going. Here's Wotherspoon. 1-on-1. Look out. Bannon. She knows where the goals is. And she slaps the turf. Furious with herself. The belly of the ball, and it wobbled to the right-hand side.
Would have made it a 3-point game, so she'll be flat with that at this stage of the game as well, where Paul in the Narms forward half has been pretty hard to come by.
She's crucial to their chances, isn't she, Ruby? She probably isn't seeing enough of it right now.
No.
But if she can get near it, she looks dangerous.
Well, she's their main avenue to goal. I mean, she's the one they look to, or look to get it to her advantage at least, because she's a player that can really create something of nothing.
They've kicked 2-3 for the night. Alyssa Bannon's got 1-3 of that 2-3. There she is in the area again. Stevenson at the base of the pack.
On the flip side is Hawthorn's been very wasteful with their time in the front half and their forward 50 entries. So this game's still well and truly live, particularly if Nam can slot through one here. Get reward for effort. What have they got? Where will it come from? Will it be number 6? Bannon just lurking.
Love to see some Nam players get on the move in this forward stoppage. Make the Hawks defenders and midfielders defend you to try and create something.
Here goes Fleming. So classy. A beautiful footballer to watch in action. Had plenty of it in the first half. Heath, though, gives it off. Quick fire kick to the top of the goal square. And Kemp's there to save the moment. Ainsley Kemp. Long and strong. Free going to Hawthorn. And accepting it. Back for her first game since round 2 for the Hawkers, Casey Sheriff, and the kicking has been a little wayward tonight, Jack.
A little bit of rust, perhaps. 7.5 minutes left, a little under that now. Hawks leading by 8 points. Lily Johnson, one of the late inclusions. Had 5 games with Port Adelaide, her first season with the D's. Hug the boundary line with that kick.
See the time in forward half there, 41% Hawks. No, I'm just owning it. That's slight more in this quarter, 59%. It's good look for Nam if they can just pepper away, get another score on the board.
The contested numbers are up this quarter. Hanks has been a big part of that. Got boot to ball. Here's Purcell, front and centre. He's touched on the very last line. Nice work by Laura Elliott to get back.
Really important they lock this in the forward half here. 6 minutes 30 to go. You can't afford for Hawks to get it up the other end. Need to lock down. Make sure there's no easy outlet.
Some nervous teams watching on, particularly Essendon, particularly St Kilda. You'd think if Port Adelaide win their final 2 games, it really comes down to, it looks, if games go their way as expected, it'll either be Essendon or Melbourne that snare that 8th spot. Melbourne need to win this, otherwise they're just about done for their season, and it keeps the door open for Essendon, keeps the door open for St Kilda. But they've got a will to win. They're missing their biggest names. Goldrick's been hurt. Emily Bates with a boot to her head. She's down and she's slow to get up.
Looks like Emily Bates' knee or boot just accidentally got her in the back of the head, maybe. Would have been sore. Good to see her standing up here as we see the replay. Just lost her footing and, oh yeah, just a knee in the back of the head. That'll tickle.
She got up on her feet and then she's gone back down again. So, trainer, physio either side.
Well, at this point of the game, it's not good for Nam. Sinead Goldrick, really important to their defence. She gives them so much run and carry and puts so much speed on the ball out of the back half. Been a really good defender in the competition this season. You hate seeing her there. Doesn't look like she's in too good of a way. And they'll be likely missing her the next 2 weeks as she goes into concussion protocols.
Had the 19 disposals this evening. Big 5 and a bit minutes coming up here. Can Hawthorn hold on and just about kill off Nam's season, or can they breathe new life into their season? Here's Bannon. We said if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be the number 6. Booted 4 last week to get Nam the big win over the Tigers. Can they make it 4 wins on the trot?
Here's where you want to see that movement. Liv Purcell, you'd love to see her get on the move. She's a crafty player. She's quick hand to boot with ball in hand. So can they create something? Tyler Hanks spinning through the stoppage.
Pearce knocked it to the front of the stoppage where Bates was waiting. And Casey Sheriff. It's been a good return tonight. Looks for Vukic, outer side wing. Up the line, McDonough will want to turn back onto her left foot. Does, and kicks a little roller forward. Might not be a bad thing for the Hawks, although they get in each other's way, Gilroy and Hipwell.
Just about tried to wrench their head off.
Mini headlock. Aileen Gilroy.
I love her. She's awesome.
Such a character. She's so good for the game. And a seriously good footballer at the same time. Sheriff went crashing through.
Testing out that leg.
Fleming. Kicks from a standing start. Hawks are outnumbered inside forward 50. Vukic dives on the ball. And it's another forward 50 stoppage.
So, Ruby, the margin is 7 points. The balance, the question is, how early do you go into game saver up against still trying to win or score?
Well, I think this is too early. I think the Hawks' game plan is a good game plan when they're executing it. So when they're finding those 1v nuns, they move it with calmness out of their back half, and that they still need to do that. They still need numbers upfield to be able to do that. I'd say around it stays 7 points. I'd say around the 2-minute mark, you start to maybe send a forward behind the footy and just ensure you've got that spare behind the footy for anything that comes in. But at this stage, the ball's in their forward half. If they can keep it here, they're in a really good spot, particularly with now Sinead Goldrick off the field, who gives them a lot of run and carry out of the back half, a lot of speed on the ball. And they've just got to make sure the Hawks defenders tighten up 1v1s ahead of the ground. Make sure you don't give Alyssa Bannon an inch. And it really comes down to the pressure of the midfielders as well.
So the kick's gone straight to the Hawks. And it looks like they've gone into game saver mode already. 3 to play. Margin is 7 points. Hawks closing in on making it 7 straight wins. A scrap, a wrestle. Breed. Caught by Heath. Got the strength to get the kick away. And McLaughlin happy to see it over, although it was the last touch rule. So they give away a free.
Just came off her boot. Did well to get her hand there, but the feet just ran a little too quick under her and toe poked her over the line.
Nearly 3,000 in the house at Cazalay Stadium in Cairns tonight for this one.
It's now or never for Nam. 4-game winning streak is on the line right now. They've got to surge forward and they've got to do it quickly. Georgia Campbell on the wing. Less than 2 minutes remaining. Really needs to get this ball moving. Kicks it as far as she can to a pack. Wales was well situated. Stevenson there as well. And now Lucas Rod. And the Hawks burn a bit of time.
They'll be happy with this. Keep it in tight, in congestion. Just burn off the clock. Don't get it into free open play just like this.
That'll help. Here's Hanks from outside range. Mithun drifting forward, marks. From directly in front. If she kicks this, it's a 1-point game.
Well, she's accurate. She's a great kick. She's got great skills, and it was a really good mark by Lily Mithun as well. Beautifully weighted by Tyler Hanks as she lines up here to put him a point away.
First goal of the season for Lily Mithun. Misses.
They've got to switch on here now quickly. Offense to defense, the Ds. If they want to get a forward half turnover, which they need with just over a minute on the clock, they need an early intercept and need to find the big sticks.
An even 6 in it. Can they get it back in? Charging in at players. And again, the umpire's happy to hold it up. Chaplin was involved.
Anya
McDonough
McDonough
to break it free.
Anya McDonough just going as that spare behind the ball like we spoke about, going into the game-saving mode.
Pearce, Purcell, Mackin skies it. Needs a mark. Where's Bannon? Nowhere to be seen just yet. Heath flicks it. Quick hands. Oh, how good was that from Fleming in traffic? And clears it. Now the foot race is on. McNamara will get there first. She got a shove in the back from Breed. She knows to go back and get it. Breed cannot give away a 50, whatever she does. McNamara told to play on. Wants to draw the defender. Thought about the handball. Instead goes the kick. Who's going to gather it? Under the pump, Fitzsimon. Picked up by Bates. Loops the handball over. Breed picks it up. Flicks it back. West is in there. Kemp. Ashmore's out wide. Hasn't got it. McNamara gives away the free. And that'll be it. Ashmore, one of the 2 Indigenous players out there tonight, is going to end the game with the Sharon in her hands. And the other Indigenous player, Mattia Breed, provided the highlight of the night, the big mark, and the Hawks make it 7 straight. They're still alive for that minor premiership, and the D's have made life very, very tough for themselves. The season just about done when it comes to finals. It's Hawthorn's lowest score of the season, 3-5-23. It was enough to get the job done tonight in really slippery, humid conditions in Cairns. Naarm produced their highest score of the season last week against the Tigers to upset them, but backed it up with the 2-5-17 tonight. The goal kickers hit well. Jazz Fleming was brilliant, and McDonough. And for the D's, Gall and Banham with 1. So Melbourne will have to sit back and watch the other results over the next weekend and a bit. But you would think their last game is against Ruby's Pies at Icon next Saturday at 1 o'clock. Ruby might be, and her teammates might be the Spore Sports. And the Hawks next week have the Tigers at Punt Road on Sunday at 3 p.m. Going to be the party poopers for us, Rubes?
It'd be nice. It'd be nice, I hope, from my mob that we are, but they're a good side, so we'll see what we can come up with. I'll be disappointed with that for sure, and I think the Hawks as well. I mean, Dan Webster will probably actually be a little disappointed with that second half, given the first half that they produced. Probably, as he said, you know, just a bit of poor decision making, maybe a bit rushed with ball in hand. They didn't look as calm with the footy as we've gotten to know the Hawks to be, and but to still be able to win in those sort of circumstances, and even though it was a little bit of a scare for them, I'm sure there's plenty of improvements to come out of this one.
Okay, you get a second, Ruby, to think of who will be the Harvey Norman player of the match. In the meantime, we did get a text came through today. Mattia Breed set herself for a big game. Let's get down, because Hannah Davies is with the woman of the moment.
Mattia, congratulations on such a thrilling win. I mean, your heart must be in your hands right now. Talk to me what it means to get the win here in Cairns. You're home away from home in Indigenous round as well.
Yeah, I think there's so many factors that make it extra special. I think we knew that this would be a good challenge coming in, like Melbourne are almost back at full strength, and I think there's been a bit of talk around us yet to be the good side. So it's nice to be able to step up to the challenge, and yeah, the conditions are extra hard, but it's nice, and to get it done for Westy and Casey as well is extra special, and Indigenous round as well, extra special for me. So yeah, just a lot of emotions, but really happy to get the win.
I'll take you back to the third quarter as well. That mark, no doubt a mark of the year contender. What was going through your mind?
I thought I just wasn't here in the first half. I was struggling to get in the contest, get my hands on the ball, and I think that I gave away a few silly free kicks, so just trying to get myself back into the game, and I think that helped a lot, helps lift the momentum and the rest of the team. So yeah, felt pretty good. Just needed to get back into the game.
Congrats again, Mattia. Go and enjoy it.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Just trying to get herself back in the game. That's a pretty good way to do it.
Well, I reckon the tackle just before that, yeah, it was definitely in the game, and she fired herself up. She did say she gave away a few free kicks, but it was from just being ferocious at the contest, and then she decided to turn up and give us that.
Okay, let's get back down to Hannah, who is with our Harvey Norman player of the match.
I certainly am. I'm with Eliza West. Eliza, congratulations. You are a Harvey Norman player of the match, and for that you win a $500 gift card thanks to Harvey Norman. Talk me through your emotions right now. That win, what are you feeling?
A lot. I mean, it was a very emotional game. Obviously not as much scoring as what we're used to. We were hoping to break them and get a few more points on the board, but credit to them, they were really strong defensively. But I'm really proud of the team for just really getting gritty and working hard for that win and staying with it in the end. So yeah, really, really proud team win 4 quarters.
And it's been an incredible season so far. 7 wins on the trot now, and you're staring down a top 2 finish, but there's still plenty left. Where do you look to improve on as you head into your final home and away match?
Plenty of areas to improve on. I mean, typically with that scoreboard, if you look at it, we would have definitely liked to have converted on a few more inside 50s. Usually we're pretty good at that, so we need to look and see if we need to change angles or slow it down, whatever it is. We'll probably review that for the coming up game against Tigers.
Thanks, Eliza. I think your teammates are calling you for going to join the huddle.
Basically, thank you.
Yeah, you can hear them chanting Westie in the background. Of course, premiership player with the D's, playing them for the first time. And they're going to enjoy this one. Really stifling warm conditions. They were able to grind out a really hard-fought win. So they're back on top, the Hawks, and it's over to North Melbourne, who play Adelaide at Nord Oval tomorrow night. And then one more round to come. The Hawks have got the Tigers, and Melbourne will play the Pies. Their season just about done, though, you would think. Thanks to Ruby Slisher, thanks to Jack Everin, and thanks to Hannah Davies and everyone behind the scenes. Hawthorn, 7 straight with a 6-point win over Naarm.
All right, folks, there we go. As I said, 6-point win to the Hawks. They didn't score in the last quarter. 3 points to Melbourne. Well, they nearly had their chance, Melbourne. But, yeah, Hawthorn, 7 straight wins in a row now. They go on one more game for them to play with Melbourne next week. Tell you what, it was a good game. It was a good tussle. Tell you what, it was hard out there in the heat and humidity there for the players, but a good game nonetheless. Don't forget, folks, thanks everyone for coming in. We took our poll who was going to win tonight. Of course, 100% picked Hawthorn to win. Well done, everybody in the house. Tomorrow night, don't forget, North Melbourne and Adelaide, match of the round AFLW action, coming up at about around about the same time as tonight, 7:45, I think, somewhere there. So I should be covering that one. So if you're interested in that game, come along and join in, listen to the action and all that type of jazz. But that's all we've got for this one, folks. I want to appreciate everyone for coming in. Thanks very much. I've got a premiere on at the moment if anyone's interested in having a look at Parliament House there in the Australian Capital Territory of Australia. It's the link I dropped. So we're over at my premiere there now if you want to watch one of my videos with everyone else. But anyway, that's all I got for the football this evening. Thanks everyone for coming in. Till next time, ciao for now. We'll see you at the next game.